Well, we got a lot to talk about. So thank you all for coming.
Yeah, so at the end of President Biden's 3-minute public chat with new UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the press didn't have a lot to ask President Biden about, but they all wanted to ask him about George Clooney's op-ed piece published by the New York Times about 6 hours earlier, which George titled, "I love Joe Biden, but we need a new nominee." I think that title says it all. Now, this isn't George, weighing in from Lake Como in Italy. George was right alongside Joe and Julia Roberts and Barack Obama at a Democratic fundraiser in LA on June 15th. George writes in his New York Times piece, "It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe Big Effin' Deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate."
That is devastating.
That's David Axelrod on CNN Today. He was aide to President Obama, so he worked alongside VP Biden at that time. I don't think David used the word devastating completely in the context of, well, it's devastating to hear that about Joe, which of course it is. But he's more using the word devastating as this is devastating to Biden's stance of staying.
That's devastating.
Yeah, and that's
And it's what people fear.
John Favreau was also on CNN Today, and he was also at that fundraiser that Clooney hosted in LA on June 15th.
Clooney was exactly right. And every single person I talked to at the fundraiser thought the same thing, except for the people working for Joe Biden, or at least they didn't say that. But I remember my wife, Emily, turned to me after the fundraiser and said, "What are we going to do?"
Shortly after that event in June, a video spread on Twitter where after the talk ended alongside Obama, moderated by Jimmy Kimmel, President Biden, and freezes seems like a weird word to use, but I don't know what other word to use. Yeah, so he freezes for about 6 to 7 seconds before Barack reaches back and grabs Biden's forearm, which causes Biden to start moving again. It's to be expected that 81-year-old's walk is going to be a little labored. But yeah, something about Joe's walk just seems like he's kind of coming out of a haze or something. He's not really totally sure what just happened. Barack's really kind of got his arm around him, talking to him. And also, Barack's actions, to me, strike me as he was not alarmed by what just happened with Joe. He started to walk off stage. He sees that Joe isn't with him. The natural reaction would be, oh, Joe is looking at something in the audience for a few seconds. But no, Barack immediately just reaches back and touches Joe's arm. And yeah, just gently touches him like he knows that'll bring him out of it. Barack knows what's going on with Joe.
And I said, well, there's a debate in a week. Either he'll do well in the debate and we'll think, well, he was just tired because he flew all the way back from Europe and that'll be that. Or he'll be like this at the debate and then the whole country will be talking about it. And so here we are.
Look, I thought for the last 24 hours that Joe is going to step down. This Clooney piece is another, push towards the door. I'm not saying that Clooney is all powerful, but I think just the sentiment just seems to be kind of piling on Joe. But I think we just witnessed the moment where Joe realized it's over for him.
Thank you all for coming.
There's bewilderment that they're so animated over this. Then there's a little chuckle, but then with a little smirk on his face, and I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing, but I see a man who loves this country, quite possibly saved this country in 2020, realizing he's no longer helping. With a playful nod to the camera, and then back to reality. I suspect Joe is going to be announcing very soon that he's not continuing his re-election campaign. It gets me choked up a little bit, that video. I hope he ends his campaign soon because he doesn't deserve that. He does deserve that in this moment to, be pressured like that. Because, as Clooney writes in his piece, we're not going to win in November with this president. On top of that, we won't win the House, and we're going to lose the Senate.
I adore the guy. 50 years of public service.
He's a lovely man.
He's been a wonderful guy.
Michael Douglas, who hosted a fundraiser for Joe back in April at his and Catherine's home, said on The View today, just moments after Clooney's piece was published, that, George has got it right.
Well, I think it's a valid point. I mean, I'm deeply, deeply concerned. I don't worry necessarily today or tomorrow, but a year down the line, I worry. I am concerned.
Yeah, for all that Joe has done for the United States, he shouldn't be experiencing that, even though he brought it upon himself in a way. I think as soon as he announces that he's stopping his campaign, the public sentiment will completely reverse on him. And yeah, he'll get that warm reception that he deserves once again. This is a difficult moment for him, I realize, and that it's just devastating to watch his face in that moment because I just see yeah, it all plays out in those probably 10 seconds, and it's just it's acceptance, it's sadness. Yeah. Clooney actually got honored with the Kennedy Center Honors back in December 2022. Yeah, they certainly had a rapport with each other, and so this is not some random celebrity, speaking out against Biden. This is obviously a very powerful celebrity and a celebrity that Biden knew, and so I think, I think it's all hitting Joe probably tonight. Really, yeah, Joe's I suspect going to be making an announcement, not a decision. I think he's made a decision as of today. He's going to be making an announcement, very soon. What do you think?